guys, my name is Magen Warlick. This is TSU Hickory Cash, otherwise known as Coley. We're going to go through a few of our conditioning and strength training exercises and things that I've worked on with him and have started to add into my other horses' programs. They're really simple, easy to do things that take about 15 to 25 minutes of your ride. So first thing I'm going to do is ask him to extend his walk. I want him to use his full range of motion. Drive from behind, reach with those front legs. And I want him to eventually, as he warms up, get a really nice swing in his hips. So now I'm going to slow down, so I'm going to quit riding and just slow everything in my body. I want him to take one step at a time, and if I have to help him, I'll pick up. There, he just let out a big breath. Slow his steps. I almost want him to just there, like that. One foot in front of the other. And really think about where he's putting his feet. Super. And then I'll ask him to walk back out again, raise my energy back up. So I'll walk long enough that I feel a change in the horse's body. They'll get just a nice soft swing in their hips, and I can feel it in my own lower back when that starts to happen. So spend enough time walking. A lot of people underestimate the walk, but if you know anything about any type of classical type dressage, walk is one of the hardest gaits to develop. Most of those top dressage riders look for horses that have natural big walks and good canters because they know they can develop that trot into that big action. But if a horse doesn't have a really nice forward overstepping walk and a good cadenced canter, those are much harder to develop than a trot. Super, relax. Good, he licked his lips, and look how smooth he came back. So I won't make him stay there for very long because that was immediate, super. Right when I asked him to come back, he did. Change directions again just to change our path. Like I said, if I were out in a pasture, I'd just keep going around either the perimeter or as long as I could go in a straight line, that's what I'd do. I'm going to ask him to slow down again, so I just quit riding, slow everything in my own body down, and I'll slowly let those hips rock, my own hips, with each footfall, left, right, there, super. Let him out. And this isn't something that develops very quickly. I've spent probably 2.5 years with this horse doing this almost every single ride as my warm-up. And he's good at it and he's tuned in, but it took a long time for him to develop the strength and the balance to be able to do these things so easily. Pick up on his face a little, see if he'll reach down. There. Good. All right, I'm going to pick up a trot. I'm going to go right to an extended trot. Same concept here. I want him to use his full range of motion. He usually starts out a little bit stiff at a trot, so I don't mess with his face. I let him put his head and neck wherever he wants. And I just keep myself light and thinking forward, forward, forward. Trying to get these long straight lines in as long as I can. He's dying off on me a little bit. So I like to post when I ask for that extended trot. Keeps your weight off the horse's back a little bit. It's also a cue or a signal that you want to extend forward now by posting, because here in a minute when I jog, I'm going to relax and sit. I always tell all my clinic people this is really good cardio too. I'm getting out of air. All right, I'm asking him to jog. Just relax, sit down, let him jog. Good. And he's developed this little soft jog. He did not always have this. He was actually a really high-necked, unbalanced horse for a lot of years. But we've developed that jog over time, and he has the strength and he has the cadence and balance in his feet to get that done. We'll cut across here, pick out another straight line. That's good. Good. And he's actually on his own. Look at him coming down with his face. He's got a beautiful arch to his neck. His whole top of his neck is just wiggling. He's picked himself up. And he's gone into a position I haven't even asked him to. He's just gone there because that's more comfortable than to travel any other way, with his head up or nose poked out. And again, that took a long time to develop. He did not always travel like this, but I haven't forced him in there. I haven't made him go down there. I've taught him that that's a comfortable, efficient place to be. Drive, drive, and then sit. Come back to that little jog. Good boy. He would love to jog all day if I let him. So lots of up and down transitions. Up, down. And then up. And down. All right, we'll pick up a little canter. So the canter work, I probably, it took a long time to do any fast and slow canter work. I felt like I needed to get his trot work a lot better and his walk better first, but I'll show you a few things at the canter that will also help improve that horse's balance and cadence. So first off, just let him canter on loose rein. I'm going to try to maintain my straight lines, because cantering in a straight line is significantly harder than cantering on a circle. And he's wanting to be a little bit pokey, so I'm going to speed him up a little bit. He has a tendency to want to get a little bit of a stutter step at his canter. I want him to be in a solid 3-beat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And if I let him, he'll come back down and do a little pony lope and we won't go anywhere, but it's not very efficient. He's not really bringing his hindquarters up. When I speed him up a little, he should have to reach a little bit with his back legs, a little bit further. Not too terribly worried. He's wanting to lean a little bit like he's on a circle. That's okay. I'm just going to work on his speed first. Good. Same thing at a canter. You might stand up a little. Notice as soon as I stood up a little, his neck went down just a touch. Take a little weight off that back. It's really good for the rider. It's going to help develop your balance to stay with the horse's motion. A lot of people ride behind the horse's motion, or they always ride a little bit ahead of it. And so by putting your body in those different positions, you allow yourself to get better and with your horse and get comfortable with speed. Because that's the thing about speed that scares people, is they either feel like their horse is way ahead of them running off, or they feel like they're having to lean forward to stay up with them. Neither of those are very fun. So his collected canter work, it didn't start out in a straight line. It started out in a circle, in a real spiraling small circle, to teach him how to balance. Because when I just slowed him down at a canter, what he did is he just broke to a fast trot. So this circle did help him there learn how to get that nice soft footfall, almost, not that he can do a pirouette like a dressage horse, but a little bit along those lines of keeping forward impulsion and staying at a canter but not going very far. So same concept, I'd speed him up, sit down, and then I would circle him to help keep that balance like that. Super. Speed him up a little. That's getting better. Notice he's starting to carry his neck better. I haven't picked up on him at speed. And he's starting to find, and he's straight through his neck. He's not all bent, turned, looking in. Let me go ahead and go the other way. That's his tough way changing, but that was actually pretty good and relaxed, even though he missed behind. So again, speed him up a little. I've always practiced coming up a little just because of the cowboy racing. I want him to think when I come up to go forward just a little bit. And then when I sit down, come on, go forward, come back. Good. He's getting a little tired. This has always been his weaker side. Not too bad. Send him back out. And he's pretty good now where I can sit, bridle him up a little, and keep him in this little canter in a straight line. Ooh, don't change leads. Right there, let him out. So when you do that jog and this slower canter, you don't hold them there very long, because you've got to keep the impulsion from behind. If you keep them slow, keep them slow, keep them slow, then they start pedaling behind with those back feet. They're not really holding themselves up. Like that. Whoop. And this is good, because he obviously needs to go back and work on this some more. He's been on vacation for a few months. Come back a little. Keep cantering. There, and let him out. And drive. I like to feel that propulsion. So if I slow him down, and then I want to feel him push off real smooth. Do that a little bit the other way. There, he was a little stuttery, so speed him up. Wasn't really driving. So speed up a little and come back. See how this side is like significantly more balanced? That was easy for him. Sit down. And then send him out. Good. All right. Let him come back and walk. He's plenty hot. So all we did was walk, trot, and canter around, and he's got a good sweat up. But that was all to benefit him. That wasn't to do all the tricks and all the fancy stuff. That was to get him using himself. And so a majority of my rides become that, where that horse is spending more time thinking about how they're moving and using themselves and getting forward impulsion going, so that when I do go to do the fancy tricks, that they've got the strength and the power to be able to do that. So those are some of my little tools that I've used and developed through the years, and it's benefited him tremendously. That's what helped him win all of his championships in Calgary and everything else. So I think it'll help all of your horses as well.